This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Victoria Beckham posted a photo of her whole beautiful family. They were in Paris for Paris Fashion Week. And she had a show going on. It was a big deal. Amazing.
And Cruz, her
Gorgeous
youngest son, he's dating a woman who is 10 years his senior. And I don't know how she's feeling about this, but she cropped her out of the photo.
Clearly too.
So we are talking about when you crop somebody out and why.
Hey, can I tell you, we got so many phone calls. The amount of people being cropped out. This is a real this age problem.
Yes, because it's very easy to do.
Hey, Shane.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good, Shane. All
Yeah.
right, being cropped out, Shane. What happened?
I was so last year we had this super fancy, like black and white pie Christmas party event at the Crown,
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
and I decided it would be a good idea to photobomb the CEOs when they were having this fancy photo.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
What
then,
time of night was that? What time of night was that?
It was probably around midnight, so it was
okay,
getting
so
a
it
little
was
bit
late.
loose.
So you're
We
loose.
get it. Yep.
Yeah.
So then the next week on our home internet page, they were posted there with myself cropped out saying best Christmas party ever.
And you're like, I know I should be in that photo.
Did anyone speak to you about how loose you were and jumping in the photos at any stage the next
I
days?
didn't, I'm still there, so obviously it couldn't have been too bad. They just obviously didn't want me in the photo.
Yeah.
You know what? That would have been
Photoshop goes a
discussion
long way.
afterwards. So
Yeah.
everyone going, we've only got one photo of all the CEOs together and that dickhead. There would have been
Bloody
discussion about you.
Shane. Good on you, Shane. Thank you. Kathleen, hello.
Hi, how are you guys
Hey,
this
good,
morning?
Kathleen.
Now, did you crop someone out or were you cropped out, Kathleen?
I was actually cropped out about 10 years ago now when my ex and I broke up. A couple of months after that, I jumped onto Tinder and saw that he had used one of his profile pictures with one of our...
A couple picture as a profile picture.
But he cropped you out of it.
That's correct. And then he had the audacity after that to even, when he's on my profile, to super like me as well.
So your ex super liked you on Tinder after you'd broken up.
Yes,
Using a
that's
couple
right,
photo as his profile picture that had you cropped out.
That's right, yeah.
Well, he's got a
And you
good
can see
opinion
part
of himself,
my
doesn't
hair.
he?
I think you dodged that bullet, Kathleen. Oh, my God.
He thinks he can cut through all
Not
Sean.
wrong.
Oh,
God.
Fair play.
there's a lot wrong with that.
Jamie from Success. Hey, Jamie.
Good morning, guys.
Hey,
How are
Jamie.
ya?
Good.
Jamie.
So
Right,
tell us
Jamie.
about being cropped out. Were you the cropper or the croppee?
Oh, well, I was neither in this case,
Oh.
but my husband's nana, she recently passed away, and we were going through photos and everything for her funeral, and we've realised that once you were in Nana's bad book, you were cut out of every single photo of hers.
Like,
the-
like
well,
physically
literally
cut
cut.
out.
The good old-fashioned cropping with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, good old-fashioned cropping, not digital these days. So she would go out and actually cut your face out of the photos.
Yeah,
there was a lot of photos-
sorry, not a straight line, just like you would edit on software. She would cut the whole of your face out.
Just cut your face out. The body's still there, but yeah. So it's
That's
been
way
going on for a
worse.
few years.
Isn't it just?
That's way worse.
Sean,
That's a
'cause it's
statement.
permanent.
Yeah.
That is serial killer stuff.
Yeah,
that is
that
you're on my list
Well-
next, and you're dead.
You shouldn't have crossed Nana.
Yeah, true.
Be
That-
nice to your
I'm
Nana.
sorry,
or she
she-
physically cuts you out of her pictures.
No, not all of you, just your face.
Thanks, Jamie. V's in Freo. Hello, V.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Good,
Good,
V.
mate.
Now, is your mum a bit of a cropper?
My mum was I reckon, the original cropper back in the day when digital photos didn't exist.
Yes.
I was married once before, and there was one of those, those portraits that you get done, the family portraits, where there's a couple of people standing in the back and a couple of people at front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little number. And we separated, and she really loved the photo, so she took that photo to a professional photographer and got the background superimposed over the top of him.
Wow.
So there was this big grey gap in between.
A couple of people standing together, gap, and then a couple of people standing together. Are you joking? That is
the best.
so funny.
We still got it, and there's so you see, three people, a big giant gap, and another person.
So really, you
like
look at that
a
big giant gap.
man-sized gap,
Oh,
you
I
might
mean,
say.
you think it would be a photo if you're standing near the Christmas tree. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple of people, Christmas tree person.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best. She still put it. She had it up. But she
That's
passed recently,
so
but
funny.
she had it up. She had it up in the lounge room for years, and we used to laugh at it.
Can I say that's very That's very good, to the point
I
where
know.
that would be on a sitcom. That would be on a comedy.
But it's the fact that
so
she
funny.
had to have it professionally done
on
as
her.
well is amazing.
Oh, I
isn't
know.
it?
And back then they didn't have the software to move the person over.
No, exactly. That's right. I guess you could have folded the paper.
Like a Mad magazine.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
So I was in Kmart and a woman walked up to me and asked me to lie to her husband on the phone by pointing furiously at her Woolworths bag, suggesting that I say that instead of letting him know that she's in Kmart spending money because she's obviously banned from there.
If you're listening and you've banned your wife from Kmart and that random guy yelled
She had
Woolworths
blonde straight hair, so
on the
just
phone.
down to her shoulders.
What day was it?
It was Monday, Tuesday, I think. Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was Tuesday.
Matt's and Karen up. Good morning, Matt.
Should be furious.
Good morning, gang. How you going?
Great,
Great, Matty.
Good.
Okay, now, did you lie for a stranger or did a stranger lie for you, Matt?
I had a stranger lie for me many years ago. So many years ago, when I was backpacking with my girlfriend, we'd flown into JFK Airport in New York, our first trip to the US. We're standing in a long queue in some sort of skywalk, and to my left there's a door that clearly goes out of the tarmac. And because Americans, being Americans, are very, very explicit, on the door it says, "Do not touch this door,"
Yes.
which is like a red rag to a bull. So I start playing with the door, and before you know, all the alarms in the skywalk go off. There's security guards running up and down the way. And my girlfriend, who's in front of me, turns around and looks at me and says, "You touched that door, didn't you?" Because she knows exactly what I'm like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just go in full denial. No, it wasn't me. I didn't touch the door. It was nothing to do with me. And the guy behind me could see what was going on. He just leant forward and said, No, he didn't touch the door.
Oh!
I know he didn't touch the door. It was an accident.
Oh,
Matt!
You didn't even ask him.
Yes!
Didn't even have to ask him. It was awesome. I thought, "Oh, thanks, dude."
What a great
And
man.
You know
he didn't
what?
believe-
If there are
What's
people
that?
like that, if there are people like that in the world that are
Yes.
just waiting
What
to
a
lie
hero.
for someone without even being asked,
Yeah,
that is
just reads the
that's a
room.
bloody good person.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Maybe because he
mate.
didn't want to stand next to a brawling couple for the rest of the time they're in the queue.
Hey, Matt.
Self-preservation.
Matt, so are you the person, if there's a big red button, you will press it?
Yes.
Should be a train driver, Nathan.
Matt, was this...
Especially if it says "Do not touch."
Do not touch.
Do not
yeah.
touch.
Was this incident before or after 9/11?
Well before.
Well before,
Yeah.
okay.
Can you
Otherwise,
imagine
you'd
otherwise?
still be in prison, probably. Good on you, Matty. Thank you. Michael's in Bayswater. Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
Hey,
Good
you're Michael.
Now, did you lie for a stranger or did a stranger lie for you?
Lied for a stranger. So I was in Aberdeen Street brick paving in my 20s.
Yeah.
And we're working away. A fella comes running around the corner, looks at us, jumps over the orange bunting, takes his shirt off, picks up some pavers and starts laying some bricks.
Yes.
We started to each other going, "What the hell's going on here?" About a minute or two later, a copper's run around the corner. Walk up the road, keep going. We didn't say anything. He didn't stop working. Didn't talk to him all day. And by the
He
end of the
stayed
day,
He stayed there. He worked the entire day.
He made 300 bricks.
You got a shift from him.
Hey, Mike.
by the end of the day, the boss goes, "You want a job?" He said, "Yeah, no worries."
He got
Come and
hired.
work for- Yeah, he come work for about 3 weeks, but then he must have gone to court because we never saw him again.
Oh, my God.
Escaping the police, he took his shirt off, started working for you. You guys hired him on the
Yes.
spot
And then he disappeared after 3 weeks.
because he had a go-get attitude.
Yeah.
Well, he obviously had the skill to lay bricks then, so he previously must have done it along the journey.
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah. He knew the pattern, he knew what he's doing, he just jumped over the bunting and started paving. So.
I mean, that's an amazing way to get away from the cops, is just to blend in by doing physical labour.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Taskmaster Australia continues on Channel 10 or 10 Play as well.
If you've never watched it, give it a
It's
go.
so
It is
funny.
actually really funny. I don't think the ads...
Do it justice, yeah.
I
It's
really
a cracking show. And the Taskmaster, as we know, is one and only Tom Gleeson. We caught up with him this morning before the show.
Hey, how are you?
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
good,
doing
mate.
great. Hey, we spoke about you this morning, right? So this is our producer, Amy. Amy, come over to the microphone and tell us what you told us about
Tom knows me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much I love love your show, not this show.
Not this show.
Quizmaster.
Hard quiz.
No,
Hard quiz.
Hard quiz. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel about us getting back to Taskmaster, Amy? Are you going to be
No,
watching
this
on
show's
Channel
great
10?
as well. Of course it is, but yeah.
She watches it with her mother-in-law, Jean, and she was going, and we laugh out loud. That's what she said. Tom, she goes, we laugh out loud.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that's kind of the whole aim, but I agree that Australian TV in general is so mediocre that can come as a shock.
I'm glad you're holding up your end of the bargain then.
Yeah, and like bonding between a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law, there's nothing quite like it, Tom. You're bringing families together.
80-year-old Jane said, he can get away with saying some really rude things. She's English, and so she can be quite offended, Tom.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, often people think that older people, you have to tone it down for older people, but I feel like, some of them have been through wars.
Yes. They can handle it.
They went through the Depression. They had dripping tins in their fridge. Remember dripping tins?
We had one at home.
Tom, this generation doesn't know about dripping tins. And if you're listening right now, dripping is all the fat from the different roasts and
you would gather it up and use it again.
Yes, it'd be in a tin, and then every time they cook, they'd put another layer on top of it, and then it looked like sedimentary layers of
and
rock.
You can spread it on toast.
Sounds disgusting. You'd be able to buy it from, Woolies or Coles and chuck it in with a roast.
I know, but having a decade-old dripping tin. Isn't that insane, Tom? That's our depression, the dripping tin.
They've lived through genuine adversity, if you've lived through the Depression, you've opened up the cupboard at some point, there's been no food in there. You're going to say the F word. You're not going to go, flipping heck, I have no food.
Indeed.
Oh, darn it, we're starving.
Absolutely.
Where does Tom Gleeson go on holidays?
I'm in Byron Bay at the moment. That's where I go on holidays because I'm a massive TV star, so I have to go where all the other celebrities go.
Are you wearing white linen pants at the moment?
Yeah, I've got white linen on. It's actually more of a moo-moo. It's not really
No shoes, of course. No shoes for Byron.
No shoes, no underwear. And I just wander around.
Taking selfies.
So we don't ask each other for selfies because you're all
equally
They're just in the park with a crystal in their hand looking up at the sun spinning around.
How many times have you had smashed avo on toast?
Well, we have it all day, like it's breakfast, lunch and dinner. So we actually had a giant avocado roast last night. It was great.
I reckon, I've not been to Byron Bay, but I'm pretty sure if you order anything at a cafe, it looks like it's been dragged through a park. Seeds and twigs attached to it.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't picture you being a Byron Bay type of local. Is that a place you go regularly, or is this like a first timing?
Yeah, I've been going here for years and years and years. Yeah, so it's sort of like, I don't know how you describe it. It used to be grungy, which is what I liked about it when they used to come here like 30 years ago.
Chris Hemsworth ruined it, didn't he?
Yeah, but luckily, as the town has become more expensive, I've also become more wealthy. So it all lines up. So luckily,
your fortunes and Byron Bay's fortunes are tied together.
They're tied together, yeah. And so I'm an irritating tourist. And I'm wrecking the joint by being here, and I'm pushing up prices. So I'm part of the problem.
Hey, I suppose we better talk about Taskmaster.
Third season.
Only because, Tom, very rarely, and we've seen a season already, absolutely brilliant. The second episode airs tonight. But very rarely does a show that's been taken, that I've seen from Britain, from the UK, translate.
It translates well.
And I think is even better, and it's because of you, I think, the way that you deal with your
that's nice of you to say.
Yeah.
I think the format is really rock solid. Essentially, I send comedians out to do tedious tasks. They come back, they watch their efforts for the first time in front of the studio audience, and they're mortified. And I just really narrow in on what they feel bad about and highlight any failures they've made, and it leads to a lot of laughter. So. Yeah. It's playing to the natural game. I mean, essentially, I get to pay out my colleagues who I've known for a long time, and they just have to take it, and it's the best.
That's an easy gig.
They wouldn't have had to consider anybody else for this role, would they? You would have been top of the list. Yeah?
But then again, Grant Denyer would have been in the mix.
When Channel 10 asked me to do it, I said, yeah, sure, and there was. So kind of umming and ahhing about whether or not I do it. And I thought, well, they're either got their heads screwed on and they'll get me to do it, or they're going to get someone else to do it, and the show will fail. So
So
100%.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, Tom, in the TV world, is there a natural alignment between the ABC and Channel 10? Because it seems like a lot of shows that you see, or Australian comedians in particular,
So do you
will go
think- do you
either
think-
eye, but you don't see 7
Do you think there's an underground tunnel?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Channel 7 and Channel 9 are still holding on to the idea that they have network stars. But what they haven't done is they haven't watched their own network for a while, and they haven't realised they don't really have any stars. They've just got a lot of people who smile a lot at the camera, even though they aren't very talented. Whereas the ABC and 10, they just don't really care because they understand no one gives a shit anymore. So they both leave their doors open, and we just walk between the studios between 10 and ABC, and no one gives a shit.
Not a true word spoken.
You really summed up the Australian television industry in one
Anyone
sentence.
that's ever had anything to do with the media is pissing themselves laughing right now.
I know.
So funny.
So good. Great cast on this one. Is it true that you filmed this series before the last one?
Yeah, this was filmed. It happens in the UK too. Sometimes they play the series out of order. They did it this time because I don't even know who it was, but there was one of the cast members wasn't available to do publicity at the time that they were wanting to release it, so they flipped it. But it doesn't really make a difference to me. I mean, they're all.
But it does suck for you if you're planning a face tattoo.
But it's kind of weird because this one that's on air now, we actually recorded about a year ago. So it's more fun for me to watch because I cannot remember what happened.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow, okay.
So fun.
Well, you know what? You're making Gene laugh out loud.
Yeah, that's right.
that's
And
good
that's all
news,
that matters. And tonight we see...
But not on this show. Can I just put that out there?
If the promo's got anything to do with it, we see Reece Nicholson lose their temper. A little bit of a snap.
No, Reece.
Yes.
Yeah, Reece does snap a bit. Pete was also fun because Peter Hellier...
Yeah.
I start needling him for his old school 90s comedy, as I start to call it. You know? I think I was chiseling away at him for a couple of episodes before he looked up and he said, hang on, you're the same age as me.
I mean, you age-shamed Will Anderson in the last series as well. Is that just the way it is? You plonk in one person who's roughly the same age as you and then you age-shame them against all the young kids?
Absolutely. You just keep chiseling away.
Well, 7:30 tonight on Channel 10, Taskmaster Australia. It's the second episode of Series 3. Thank you very much for your time,
Tommy.
Taskmaster.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.